Hi, I'm Michelle Sterling for Friends of Science Society. The University of Calgary Law faculty hosted a forum on Bill C-69, the new pipeline and infrastructure approval process. They boldly declared that they would dispel the myths about Bill C-69. Myself and a colleague attended because Friends of Science is opposed to Bill C-69. We believe it to be detrimental to attracting investors. It's far too subjective in parts and open to intervention by too many parties on a topic, important public infrastructure, that is highly technical in nature. The subjective evaluation aspects of Bill C-69 have many expert commentators who have industry experience stating that Bill C-69 will scare off potential investors.
And I'm terrified of Bill 69.
Thus, it is odd that there was no industry representative in attendance at the U of Calgary Law Forum. The closest person to that was Terry Lynn Oleniak, who stated that the previous regulatory structure and the National Energy Board process were preferred by her clients. The moderator invoked the name of Rick Peterson several times. He's the guy behind Suits and Boots, a pro-pipeline advocacy group that strongly opposes Bill C-69 on business and economic reasons.
I'd like to start with some of the louder criticisms that have been leveled against the legislation, particularly from Rick Peterson here in Calgary. He's the founder of the lobby group Suits and Boots. One of his criticisms was that the bill contains a clause, and I'm quoting here, the bill contains a clause that sets a dangerous precedent by turning Canada's voluntary commitments in climate change into legal obligations that could be used against us by our trading partners. Wondering what he's referring to, and is this a concern?
I wondered why the U of C law faculty had not invited Rick Peterson to defend his position. I've never met the man, but I sent him an email to ask. He said he'd not even been informed of the event. The moderator also invoked the name of Ross McKittrick, professor of economics at the University of Guelph, but his objections were dismissed out of hand.
Yeah, so maybe I'll just ask you, but how would you respond to, and this was a great quote from Ross McKittrick, that the legislation gives an effective veto to future resource development to those who are most willing to shout the loudest and flout the rules. Do you have a response to that one?
I'll jump. I think regardless of the act and regardless of the decision, there's going to be people who are opposed.
He's an economist. That's it. These guys are only lawyers. In the question period, I brought up the issue that foreign-funded environmental groups had exceptional sway on this bill, and indeed, they have tremendous political and financial influence in Canada. For instance, the top 40 ENGOs received about $11.2 billion over the period of 2000 to 2018. The Enviro Law organizations received about $167 million over that same period. The revenues received by the ENGOs and their Enviro Law counterparts over the period was more than 18 times the revenues received by all federal political parties, and over 27 times the revenues received by the market-oriented institutes like Fraser Institute, Frontier, those kinds of groups. These ENGOs are the ones who beat the drum for the change to Bill C-69, which has now held up pipelines for 4 years. In fact, EcoJustice spent several months smearing the NEB online prior to managing to overturn the Trans Mountain Pipeline approval. And they're not done yet. Is that how the law is supposed to work? Is it a fair trial if the plaintiff gets to publicly smear and accuse a defendant in public before trial, when the case is before the courts? I thought that was a form of contempt of court, but who am I? I'm not a lawyer, just a common-sense citizen of Canada. Hilariously, at one point, Barry Robinson of EcoJustice made this comment about restricting pipeline protesters and freedom of speech as a charter right.
So I would hope that the person you just quoted is not suggesting some sort of restraints on free speech or the right to protest, because that cuts both ways. If you're going to say I don't want pipeline protesters, that says you can't have pro-pipeline rallies. at the McDougall Center, and you can't have a truck convoy to Ottawa. So I think we want to leave that alone.
What hypocrisy! If you recall, Eco-Justice represented a group of famous climate crisis believers who wanted to deny our freedom of speech. They wanted us thrown in jail for a couple of billboards with scientific messages. One of our messages was that the sun is the main driver, direct and indirect driver, of climate change, not you, and not CO2, carbon dioxide. That's a view now shared by thousands of researchers and scientists. In 2017, there were 485 peer-reviewed papers published showing that carbon dioxide is not the main driver of climate change, that nature, rather than humans, has driven recent warming. In 2018, another 85 papers were published showing that carbon dioxide effects on warming, they're nominal at best. In November of last year, Dr. Nir Shaviv, astrophysicist, presented this document to the German Bundestag, urging them to stop wasting money on climate action because the sun is more influential driver of climate change. And now this report from the Global Warming Policy Foundation on how the sun drives climate change, written by the esteemed Danish researcher Svensmark of the Danish Sun Climate Research Institute. Even on our own blog, we are pleased to host a report by Dr. Don Morton, an internationally recognized astrophysicist, wherein he questions climate dogma on carbon dioxide. So much of Bill C-69 relies on the faulty premise that carbon dioxide drives human-caused global warming. But the evidence shows this is false, or at best, a highly questionable premise. If the law is supposed to be about evidence, restriction of undue influence, and a fair airing of the facts, based on what you've just heard, shouldn't Bill C-69 be repealed so that fact-based pipeline and infrastructure approvals can proceed? Ross McKittrick was right in his view. Canada's economy is stalling out. Investment interest in Canada and Alberta has dropped off. This energy investment banker now calls Canada a place that is hostile to investment. And the roots of all this mess lie in the COP21 Paris Agreement, which is not a legally binding document. So, the solution? It's quite simple. To save Canada, quit Paris, build pipelines, and to do that, repeal Bill C-69. For Friends of Science Society, I'm Michelle Sterling.
Kill the bill, kill the bill, kill that Bill C-69, we hope you will. Feel the power in our grassroots, let's join up with suits and boots. Tell the Senate they just need to kill that bill. You've told us no you can't all too often. This is just another nail in the coffin. We can't work in the oil sands, C-69 just ties our hands. Tell the Senate they just need to kill that bill. Kill the bill, kill the bill, kill that Bill C-69, we hope you will. Feel the power in our grassroots, let's join up with suits and boots. Tell the Senate they just need to kill that bill. Kill the bill, kill the bill, kill that Bill C-69, we hope you will. Feel the power in our grassroots, let's join up with suits and boots. Tell the Senate they just need to kill that bill. Hello, Senator, it's me you're talking to. Here's a message I have specially for you. Let's get a pipeline to the coast or else our jobs will all be toast. So I'm asking you to please just kill that bill. Kill the bill, kill the bill. Kill that Bill C-69, we hope you will. Feel the power in our grassroots, let's join up with suits and boots. Tell the Senate they just need to kill that bill. Kill the bill. Kill the bill. Kill that bill C-69, we hope you will. Feel the power in our grassroots. Let's join up with suits and boots. Tell the Senate they just need to kill that bill.